Well, hello again. You join me out here on a slightly cloudy evening, and the sun is just setting over here. There you go. But right in front of me, right at this angle, and if I just flip this back around there, where are we? There's a pump jack. Now, there's a full moon coming up tonight, and I intend to photograph this full moon. It's minus 6 degrees just now, which is a very good time to be photographing the moon. It means that the air should be dry and free of moisture, and you shouldn't get so much of a heat haze coming off of it. However, that said, I will be shooting the moon at a low altitude, and if I get myself positioned just right and get the moon over the jack there, it should look quite good as a foreground interest. Excuse me. One of the reasons I'm also doing this is the last full moon of 2020, and it's a somewhat poignant one. Two days ago, we lost one of our dogs. Her name was Luna, and as you can imagine, she was named after a full moon, lunar. Sweet little dog, and this is a homage to her. So at the end, if I get some good photographs from this, you'll see that, and there'll be a little memento of her too. That's why this video is called Luna. Okay, let's have a look at some settings. So the settings, once you find your spot, let me just flip there to my live view. There we go. So there's my spot there. As you can see, the pump jack is just nodding away there gently, and we will sort out speeds later on. And at the moment, if I zoom in, you begin to lose the pump jack. So I'm just going to use a wide-angled shot just now. Having said that, this is a 70 to 300 lens, and I'm going to be shooting with it wide open. So as you can see, oops, 5.6. Yeah, let's go. There we go. 4. F4 is as wide as it will go, and you can see there the shot is going to be overexposed by one whole stop. So by changing the speed, the shutter speed, to 125th, make that 160th, we can get a good exposure for this shot. And we'll just prove that by taking a shot. There you go. So that's my baseline. Now, what I'm going to have to make sure here is that when I'm shooting the moon, I don't need depth of field. The moon's a long way away, so wide open with the lens as you can get it. As you zoom out with this lens, the aperture closes down to 5.6. That's not going to be a problem. Our big problem is overexposure of the moon. The moon is surprisingly bright, and in this scene right now with the settings that I've just taken, if the moon was there, it would appear as a white disc. What we're going to have to do is speed up the shutter, and look what happens to the shot. We go way down to 3 stops underexposed, and we're on now 160th of a second, and the shot looks very, very dark. You can barely see the pump jack. In post-processing, we will recover those shadows, but the main thing is not to overexpose the moon. That, after all, is our prime suspect for shooting. I'll just take that back up there. You can see the way the camera focuses. I've got focus peak on, and the arm of the pump jack there is glowing because that's where the focus is at. And if I just soften the lens up, there you go, see it disappears, and then we can get it back there. And that's how you would focus this. You'll use manual focus and then switch, or you could use autofocus right now and then switch it off, and as long as you don't move the camera, you're pretty good to go for the rest of the evening. And we'll see how things turn out. Like I said, at the end of the video, there will be hopefully some shots. But as you can see here, I've got the lovely blue sky, but I've got some colors coming in now as the sun sets. That's one of the reasons why I want to do this moon, because it will be in these glorious colors. Let me just swap this back around here. There we go. There. So that's back to me. And as you can see, there's the sun just poking through some clouds there. And there's this beautiful side light. I'll drop the camera again. This beautiful side light that now hits everything round about me. And if you're doing landscape photography, this is a nice time of the day to be shooting in the winter, is at sunrise and sunset, when you get this really low angle, very orange looking sun. It really does light up a scene. If you've got textured snow on the ground from snow drifts and things, then that looks even better. Look at these trees. The way they're side lit, they just sort of glow. I can't quite see it in the phone here, but there you go. Trust me, if I just come over here, this grass, I mean, it's yellow because it's dead and died out, but look at the sun, the way it reacts with it. And this is what we're all looking for. This is what they mean when you see a video and they're saying, oh, the light's great. This is good light. Just because it's at that angle, just because it's at, it's got that orangey glow at it. And there's some nice features to look at. Let's just save some battery power on the camera there. I've used an app that will show me where the moon is going to rise. It's not thoroughly accurate, I've found. It's called Pills. The moon is going to rise in that general direction, and that's because I know it rises over in that general direction. And you have to move slightly further up the path here to get to a better spot to put that pump jack over. Sorry, under. And that's what we're going to be shooting for just now. So if I don't get some good shots from tonight, I do have other shots that I will put in the video at the end, just to show you what I mean about using some foreground interest in the moon. Don't just take a picture of a lovely crater-filled moon. There's a lot of people will do those kind of shots and think, oh, that's great. And it's, look at my face, it's lit up with that light. Beautiful, beautiful soft light. Yeah, there's lots of people that will take a picture of the full moon and, you know, it looks quite good. But at the end of the day, half moon is better because what's in shadow suddenly stands out. There's a lot more definition in that. So when we get shooting, I will again put the camera's live feed on again, and we will look at that, and I'll guide you through. I'll show you what most people get first time when they try with the white disc, because the moon is surprisingly bright, and we'll try and sort something out there. So anyway, that's enough jibber jabber from me. Let's wait for the moon to come up, which should be in approximately 8-9 minutes, and hopefully I'm in the right spot. If not, like I said, I'll move. Okay. Well, true to form, the moon's not exactly where I saw it or expected it to come up, and this is what we've got in the viewfinder. We've got it nice and low over these trees. We're zoomed right in at 5.8, 100 ISO and a 50th of a second. We're underexposing by 1 stop, and if we press the button, there you go. The moon is not overexposed. If you were to change it to the correct exposure, like this, and then go shoot, look what happens to the moon. It is blown right out. Like I said, we can drag back some depth from the but look at that beautiful moon. and it's got a little bit of cloud across it, and that's what we're looking for. So let's try and get the moon over some other objects, and while we can safely do this, I had to run here a little bit out of breath, but there we go. This is how you shoot the moon. Underexpose it. It is very, very bright. At the moment it's not too bright, but once it's dark, that is incredibly bright. Anyway, I better get taking pictures. Here we go. This is some video from the Pentax. Actually live as you see it. And as you can see, there's a slight bit of movement in the moon at this focal range. You've got to work on it gently. But there you go. Isn't she gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Well, I did get the jack underneath the moon. Now, one of the things you'll notice here, it's getting darker and my speed was beginning to drop away. So to get the speed up to 640th of a second, I couldn't go any better than the 5.8. I took the ISO up to 1250. And as you can see, the moon looks a lovely dark orangey color there with a little bit of wispy cloud. And that's how we got her. So as it gets darker, you may have to increase your ISO so that you can get the shutter speed above 125th of a second, because you really do need to stop all movement. The moon does move very subtly, but it does move, and you will get motion blur, which won't make your moon look very sharp at all. And if anything, it'll make it look muddy. So as you can see, it's not quite dark here yet. The sunset's still occurring, but we have got our little moon in the shot. There you go. Again, here we are. Look for foreground when the moon is low. As you can see here, we're using the trees and basically just sort of situating the moon on the tips of the branches. Sometimes you can have branches in front of the moon, makes it look a little bit more spooky, Halloween. But then again, we've got a little bit of light cloud, low level cloud there, just streaking across it. And again, that makes it kind of look somewhat spooky. Yeah, so there you go. This is a really good time to photograph the moon when it's low in the sky and full like this with the sunset going on. Unfortunately, not so much colour as I'd hoped for, but it still looked rather orangey as it was coming up over the trees, which was quite nice. So there you go. That's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And just a little bit of a gallery now of some of the shots I collected tonight and some from other times as well, just to highlight what I have been trying to get across to you this evening. And then, like I said, our dear sweet Luna, 12 years old, died in her sleep on the 27th of December 2020. Always missed, fondly remembered. Rest in peace, my wee princess. Thanks for watching.